The Fed is no longer just tripping, it's broken, and by failing, they set off what looks like it will be the XRP reset, the crypto reset, and the start of a whole new financial system. Even though it's right in front of us, most people can't see it. We're talking about something very important here. If you pay attention to what I have to say today, you will see the world in a whole new way. What is happening now is very important in history. This is not advice about money. Things that are happening now are unlike anything we've seen before. The salary numbers for the US just came out a few hours ago. This information about payrolls should show how strong or bad the job market is, as well as how many jobs are being added or lost. It helps the Federal Reserve decide on policy, interest rates, and in the end, the value of your money. But here's the big surprise. The US lost 911,000 jobs when the payrolls were changed. Take that in. That is the biggest cut ever made. Take a look at that. Almost 1 million jobs were taken out of the reports, then fixed and neatly shown again months later. For months, the Federal Reserve told the public lies, made choices based on data that was clearly wrong, and kept the markets in the dark. They finally said it was wrong by almost 1 million jobs. That's not a mistake. That's a big mistake in the books. That is trickery, because this is the truth. Rates have to go down if the Fed admits that the economy is getting worse. A lot of wealthy people lose money when rates have to go down. Instead, they make it look like the economy is better than it really is, keep interest rates high, and put off the pain while others make money off of it. This is the way it works. The game is fixed, and they're playing it to hurt the people, and more people are getting it. People are losing faith in the Fed faster than ever. Polls show that people's trust is falling. Online conversations never end. A lot of people are publicly questioning whether or not the Fed even needs to exist. Its opponents have never been stronger or more vocal in their calls to get rid of it. Naturally, the question, what comes next, comes up at the same time. What comes after the Fed? It's getting easier to see the answer. Codes. It's being said out loud by people you wouldn't expect. Take a look at Trump. There was nothing more clear in what he said. The rules of the current financial system are being changed all the time by crypto. That's not just any analyst. In that video, the son of the US president tells the world where things are going. It's very clear that the government wants to change the way money works, and they plan to do it with crypto technology. If you want to change how you think about the markets, you can't skip this. Now, big businesses are getting ready for this crypto takeover. There aren't even any billions at stake here. There are trillions of dollars in cash lined up. One of the most well-known names in traditional finance, SIBO, is getting ready to start Bitcoin and Ethereum futures. Vietnam just agreed to a test program that will run for 5 years to see if crypto trading sites can work there. In the US, the SEC is holding a full crypto meeting in the middle of October. The goal is to make sure everyone knows the rules. To be honest, this much action from so many important people on such a short amount of time is not a coincidence. There is a line of moving chess pieces. It got even worse when President Trump spoke out. He said one of his best things yet on Truth Social. He said the Fed would have raised rates in early 2021 if they had done what we said. The business as a whole is broken. It needs to be fixed. They need to get their information from up-to-date sources. We don't agree with Ken Griffin at all. It's more important to us to be incompetent than to defend theoretical freedom. He did a bad job. He set a goal that is too low and too rigid. They use info that is years behind. They don't think the amount of money matters, like how the Pope doesn't believe in Jesus. Whether you like him or not, those words hurt. They take away any false sense of security. The Fed is broken because it relies on fake data, ignores reality, and has printed money so much that the dollar has lost 99% of its value in the last 100 years. That's the way things work. And that method is done. This is the reason why business groups like BRICS are becoming more powerful every day. They no longer depend on the US dollar. They don't believe what the Fed says about money. They want to make a digital stablecoin backed by gold. That's not a thought. It's already out there, and countries are signing up for it. What they want is something real, something that has value. Coins are the future because of this. Because crypto is not a loan model like fiat money or paper promises are. Paper money is debt. It is made out of thin air, borrowed with interest, and lost value over and over again. Crypto is backed up by something. Do you need a loan? To protect yourself, you put up crypto. This thing is real, has value on its own, and can't lose value like paper can. In light of this, people are becoming more aware, businesses are changing direction, and governments are quietly getting ready to build the new system on crypto rails. Now, here's the point. It doesn't take decades for things to change when the Fed breaks trust at this level. It's not a long time. It goes quickly. Wow, the world is already getting back on track so fast. SIBO, Vietnam, the SEC, BRICS, Trump's comments, Eric Trump's admission, and the fact that trillions of dollars are ready to move. This is the start of the cleanup. It's happening right now, in front of our eyes. It's important to keep an eye on what this means for XRP while the bigger picture is being formed. Because XRP isn't just one more coin. The coin is being set up to be the link, the payment layer, and the hardware for this reset. It's XRP that holds everything together when world leaders talk about changing the system, when big banks test tokenized payments, and when trillions of dollars are ready to flow into crypto rails. And this is the crazy part. As the Fed falls apart and people lose faith in the system, XRP's acceptance curve is only getting steeper. There are more experiments, more integrations, and more building of liquidity corridors. It's not theory, it's doing it. That's why now is the time to pay attention. Most people are busy reading the news, but the restart is happening right in front of their eyes. This is the most important thing to understand. Not at all did XRP set out to be a joke coin, a lotto ticket, or just another altcoin. It was designed to quickly move money across borders with very little trouble and with trust that is good enough for institutions. That's why banks tried it out a long time ago. That's why banks and payment companies looked into it before most people heard of Ripple. Today, global instability makes everyone realize what's wrong, and all of a sudden, XRP looks like the missing piece of the picture. Take a look at what's going on in foreign finance right now. It was based on SWIFT for many years. It's old, slow, and expensive. Today, you send a payment. It might clear in 2 to 3 days, or it could take up to a week if there are problems crossing borders. The payout risk stays the same, fees keep going up, and middlemen get paid. But XRP was made to get rid of that whole waste. Instant liquidity, costs that are almost nothing, and final payment in seconds. Now ask yourself this. Which method do you think institutions will choose when trillions of dollars need to move quickly, easily, and clearly? Are they going to stick with SWIFT and its framework that was made decades ago, or are they going to switch to technology that works in the 21C? That's why Ripple's name comes up when people talk about CBDCs, which stand for central bank digital currencies. This is the reason why funding hubs are being tested. That's why payment lanes are being built in places where regular banks are either too expensive or hard to get to. The problem is already solved, and people all over the world want it. Let us now make a link between this and the larger economic restart. So what do governments and institutions need if the Fed is broken, if fiat money is losing value, and if people don't trust standard money systems? Someone they can trust needs to be able to connect old and new systems like cash to digital money and banks to blockchains. That's what XRP was made to do. It's not a mistake. Read the white papers, join the partnerships, and try out the early tests again. Ripple's plan has never been to make a lot of noise. It's been about building things. The crypto community was crazy about price charts and meme coins, but Ripple was meeting with banks, dealing with regulators, and making software to handle liquidity in the real world. It worked this time because the world doesn't need a joke when the system breaks. It needs a bridge. Don't forget that organizations are getting ready. Just go where the money is going. The number of custody options for digital assets is growing by leaps and bounds. Big banks are no longer ignoring this. They are setting up departments for digital assets. They are hiring people who know about blockchain. They are putting in patents. They are putting money into tokenization. Even though stories about ETFs may still be getting the attention of small investors, XRP is in the process of building the infrastructure for a tokenized financial system. Things get even more interesting now. The Fed's lack of trust is a problem all over the world, not just in the US. The whole world gets sick when the US dollar sneezes. The world is now understanding that they are tied to a system that doesn't work well. That's the reason BRICS is getting bigger. This is why Europe is rushing to go digital. That's why pilot projects are moving quickly in Asia. People no longer want to be held hostage by the Fed's bad management. So what does happen? You should start making your own frameworks in these areas. They play around with CBDCs. They try to find ways to trade with each other without going through the US dollar and the US dollar. What kind of science makes that possible? Blockchains that can work together, tokenized money flow, blocks for settlement like XRP. Here's an example from real life. Think of a way for people in Brazil and South Africa to send and receive money. In the past, that would go through the US dollar as a middleman. They don't need the dollar, though, because XRP is the bridge currency. They can do business straight right away and for a lot less money than before. When you multiply that by dozens of countries, hundreds of trade routes, and trillions of dollars in trade, you can start to see the big picture. That's why when these news come out is important. Vietnam has given the go-ahead for crypto trading sites. There are world exchanges getting ready for futures markets. U.S. officials have finally come clean and said they need clear rules of the road. Everything is going on at the same time because the stress is too high to ignore. The system needs to change. Small buyers may be distracted by small changes in prices day to day, but the bigger picture can't be denied. The world is going toward a digital money system, not in 5 or 10 years either. It's going on now. Let us talk about numbers for a moment. Every year, hundreds of trillions of dollars are moved across borders by the traditional banking system. The world's GDP is about $100 trillion. Over $300 trillion are in debt around the world. The market for derivatives, $4 billion. That's the amount of cash that needs better rails. The numbers are crazy, even if XRP only gets a small part of that. That's why XRP has caused so much debate. It's not because it's a scam or because the government doesn't like it. The old system structure is in danger because of it. It goes against strong interests. It skips middlemen who make money off of waste. That helps you understand why XRP was aimed at, why it was slowed down, and why people took so long to adopt it. It's not just another coin. It is the machinery, and building things changes the world. This is on top of the Fed's crisis of credibility. An old system is falling apart, and a new one is ready to take its place. Each delay, change, or false piece of information the Fed releases only makes the need for options stronger. And the fact that every organization is getting ready for tokenization shows that they trust the new routes. There is a loop of input. The world turns to crypto more and more as people lose faith in the Fed. It's easier to see how XRP can be used as more people use cryptocurrencies, and more institutions join as XRP shows its worth. The circle keeps going, and it's happening right now. It's crazy that most people still don't see it. They believe that crypto is still just a guess. They don't understand that it's infrastructure. They don't know it's a town. They don't know that the bridge is being quietly accepted at the top financial levels. The rails will be set up when they wake up. And that's why what's going on now is so important. The changes to wages, the loss of trust, the moves by institutions, and the changes happening around the world, they're not separate stories. All of them are part of the same story. They all mean the same thing, reset. In that new game, XRP is not just another player. That's the bridge. You can see the picture well when you zoom out. The Fed is falling apart. The dollar's strength is being tested. Global partnerships are making other options. Institutions are getting ready for tokenization, and XRP is right in the middle, designed to link everything together. The business world has never been through anything like what is happening now. We've talked about how the Fed's reputation is falling apart. As the bridge asset in this restart, we've broken down how XRP is made. Things really start to go off on the next layer, though. It means that governments, businesses, and regular people are all moving in the same way at the same time. This doesn't happen often. In the past, big changes in the economy have happened slowly. They happen over many years. Institutions are careful. Governments fight back. The store gets left behind. But that's not what's happening now. It's so tight, and the cracks are so big that everyone is moving. They weren't exactly lined up, but they were all going to the same place. The new system will be built on digital goods. Institutions are where the real money is being spent, so let's start there. Wall Street didn't believe in crypto for years. They made fun of it, overlooked it, and called it a trend. Now, they are putting together trade desks. They're putting in for ETFs. They are asking officials to make things clear. They're not having fun with this. They are doing this because they know where things are going and don't want to be left behind. The world's biggest banks are getting ready to store their clients' digital assets. Asset managers are turning assets into tokens. Stablecoin lines are being added by payment companies. There is a clear pattern when you zoom out. Traditional assets worth trillions of dollars are about to be turned into digital files. That doesn't mean people can't trade bonds or stocks. In other words, those tools will live on blockchains. They'll be able to move and settle quickly, and they'll fit right into global liquidity pools. What do you think is the most important thing in that transition? An asset that is meant to connect various networks, settle instantly, and connect liquidity pools that are spread out. That's XRP, the government's now. People used to say that states would shut down crypto, make it illegal, and crush it. But take a look around now. Vietnam has test programs for sites for trading cryptocurrencies. MyCA is the most complete crypto system that has been passed by the European Union. After years of playing defense, even the SEC is holding public roundtables to talk about making the rules more clear. That doesn't seem like a rule, it looks like they are hugging. Why? Because the government can see the cracks too. They see that the Fed has failed. They see that the dollar is going down. They think BRICS is becoming more popular. They know they can't ignore it any longer. They need to change. So instead of banning it, they're looking for ways to control it, add it to the new system, and make it work, but they will be in charge of it. Once more, what is the bridge that allows all of this to happen? The technology that lets paper money, stablecoins, and digital assets work together. XRP. Let's go shopping. Now things really start to get interesting. Investors in small amounts are not completely in the dark for the first time ever. They can still get into the system, but not completely. Millions of people already own cryptocurrencies like XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and more, thanks to crypto platforms and the ease with which information can be found online. They are not waiting to be let into the game after the rules have been set by the organizations. They're already playing. This makes a change we've never seen before. States and institutions are putting in the rails. The store is already on board. That way, retail won't be left behind when the rivers of liquidity open and trillions of dollars start pouring into tokenized assets. They are lifted along with it. That's what makes this reset special. Here are some possible ways that this change could happen. The first step is already taking place. Lack of faith in the old order. The fact that the Fed lied about losing almost 1 million jobs is a sign of bigger problems. People are not sure about the facts. They don't trust the people in charge. They don't believe in the dollar. This is what makes the shift happen. The second step is to connect the institutions. Right now, we can see it with ETFs, custody services, tests for tokenization, and regulatory involvement. This is what the reset is built on. Third is for the government to accept. It is becoming clear to governments that the new rails are here to stay as more CBDCs open and as new rules and pilot programs grow. Step 4 is to get cash. Bonds, stocks, derivatives, commodities, and payments bring in trillions of dollars. These dollars flood onto tokenized trains. In this case, settlement layers like XRP handle the flow. Step 5 is getting back to normal. It's like how you don't think about how your email gets sent over the internet. You won't think about how your payments, investments, or cross-border deals settle either. They are going to move right away, low cost, worldwide, and XRP will be working away in the background. That's the plan. And each and every step has already begun. Now let's link this to events around the world, since the financial reset isn't happening by itself. To keep the dollar's power, the US wants to keep it. With digital money backed by gold, BRICS wants to take it on. Europe wants to get stronger by having all of its rules be the same. Asia wants to use CBDCs to get ahead. Each area has its own plans, and XRP is a neutral platform that can work for all of them. That's what makes it so strong. It's not connected to any one place. It is not run by a single government. Anybody can use it to move money around. That it is neutral is what makes it strong. Some people are still affected by short-term price changes, but acceptance is what really matters. Each hallway was open. All of the trading hubs opened. Every time you connect to a payment service, every green light from the government. Important steps have been taken because the money will come in once the lines are set up. And when there is liquidity, the price will always follow. Speed is the other thing that most people miss. Some people think this will take decades. It's not going to happen. Technology use doesn't happen in a straight line. It moves very quickly. Check out the web. Take a look at smartphones. Take a look at AI. Adoption speeds up at a rate that no one expects once the machinery is set up. This will also happen. The old system will look like it's still working one day. The next day, a lot of money will flow onto the new lines. There's no turning back now. That's why placement is important now. So the switch won't flip slowly when it does. It will happen quickly and all over the world. Now, let's talk about what makes XRP good in this situation. It's clear what speed and cost are. That being said, compatibility is the real key. Moving XRP isn't the only thing XRP does. It's about linking things together, tokenized assets, stablecoins, and CBDCs. XRP can connect all of them. That's why the central banks have tried it out. They have tested it with payment companies because of this. That's why it's being used to build funding hubs. It's not just one more coin. It's what holds the new order together. One more benefit? Clarity in regulations. There was more to the fight with the SEC than just a case. It was a screen. Yes, it slowed down acceptance, but it also made things clearer in a way that most other assets don't have yet. XRP is now one of the few products that has a history of being supported by the law. That's important when governments and organizations are choosing which rails to build on. Last but not least, friendship. People who own XRP are some of the most reliable, dedicated, and well-informed buyers in the space. Everyone else was following the latest trend, but the XRP group stuck together through years of uncertainty. That level of belief is important because the community will be the ones amplifying, building, and supporting the environment as adoption speeds up. Now what do? In the process of making history, the Federal Reserve is breaking down. Things are going badly for the dollar. For a tokenized future, institutions are getting ready. The governments are changing. Stores are already on board. And XRP is right in the middle of everything.